feel like I'm getting a lie detector test.
Don't. No. I just want to be 100% sure. Your character's name on the show was Lydia, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to. Okay. Episode 73, What's Wrong with Orny Adams? I have my first guest from the show I was on, Teen Wolf, Holland, who plays Lydia.
I am
on the
shocked.
show.
I'm your first?
You're the first.
What does that say about us, Orny?
You're the second person I asked.
No.
I got shut down by one. You can guess who shut me down, but
Not Jeff Davis.
I'm not going to. No, Jeff says he's coming on.
He'll come on.
He wants to come on. He wants to. You know what? I really want.
Ian?
No, Ian's now excited to come on.
Tyler?
Maybe.
Oh. Well,
maybe.
If it was, is it an H or a P?
Oh, I think Hecklin would come on.
Dude, you should ask P again.
Oh, really?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that, like, I don't know, some people, they worry about overexposing themselves. That's the other thing. Don't say anything. I have to edit.
Okay.
Do not have the budget to have the audio editor over and over and over edit. So
I'll be very pro quo.
So you're gonna love this. So I'm not even kidding. I know nothing about this show. Nothing.
Oh, Teen Wolf. I was like, your podcast or Teen Wolf?
I know nothing about this podcast. I actually know nothing, but I know so little. Do you remember that gift? I'm not even making this up. Did you get a gift from Paramount Plus?
It's probably in the form of a backpack with like a signature on it.
How many backpacks did they send us? How much? Let me tell you something. I'm looking at the camera. The producers every year, like if we were sponsored by Nike or Nike, or the next year we're Adidas, Nike, or then Under Armour, they would contact them and say, hey, could you send 200 free backpacks? And that became the cast gift.
I just want to know who in the PR lineup of Hollywood like made that a thing, because it's usually, I have gotten many carriers over my time.
Yeah.
Shoulder bags.
I have
satchels, backpacks.
I have a million jackets. You know, first of all, I stole. Wait, let's get all into this. I've got to play the theme, so this is official, but I'm not making this up. We got a gift from Paramount Plus that looked like a suitcase, but it wasn't, and it was filled with wine.
It's a drone bag.
What is a drone bag?
I think that's what that was for the movie. The like plasticky gray thing, the thick plastic. That was one of the nicest bags we received.
No. I'm talking about, did you get a box that had wine in it, that had like playing cards?
Yes.
Okay. And there was I'm wearing the socks. I actually like the socks. They have on the bottom, it says Paramount Plus, but it's like traction. And then here it says, showing this.
They're actually really cute.
They're really cute.
Yeah.
It says
Beacon Hills.
Yeah, Beacon Hills. But that, that's my universe, lacrosse. I was like, but okay, so in the package.
Yeah.
I'm not even making this up. There is this. Okay. It's a bracelet that says Loki, right? Mm-hmm. So I went on an earlier podcast and announced that I will give this to a fan. Okay.
That's a better idea.
But I thought Loki was like a character, like the Banshees. Like I thought Loki was something that was involved with the show.
That is just LA woo-woo.
So this isn't just Loki. I went on because I don't read the scripts. I've never read this.
Does Jeff know all this?
He does. But here's the truth. He thinks it's an act.
He thinks you really read them.
He thinks I really read the scripts, but I don't. Episode 73. What's wrong with Orny Adams? My guest today, Holland Roden. I don't pronounce your last name. Roden.
Yeah.
This is a theme.
Rodent without a T.
I love it. It's very French. It's very French. We're going to ease into this. We've got so much to talk about with the gifts and everything. If you want to contact me, the email is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. You can watch the video on YouTube. Initially, it's up on Patreon. Do you do Patreon?
No, but I know about Patreon.
Have you done Cameo?
No, but I know about Cameo.
Good for you not doing Cameo.
I did not do Cameo. Yeah.
I did it because I had the guy up here that started Cameo.
Lovely. I think his name is Sam.
I don't know. I had a guy named Martin, some British guy, who conned me into it.
Oh, maybe it's Martin. It's Martin.
But yeah, so I do all that stuff. I really don't.
They're nice. They're nice messages, though. It's not like I'm not opposed to doing it. It hasn't been something that's like in my regular repertoire.
I find it a little bit like we're too accessible.
It's a little strange, but at the same time, like I think that's this day and age. It's social media.
Right. Yeah.
Good or bad.
Listen. Here's the deal. The theme will play out. Let's get back to these gifts.
Yeah.
Why do we have so many backpacks that say Teen Wolf?
It is so bizarre. So my best friend's husband has a granola bar company.
Yeah.
And they kind of sold out to this like bigger, wigger company.
Yeah.
And they're basically like an employee now of a subsidiary of this bigger company. And the company started sending press boxes
Yeah.
of the granola bars. And we have a real hatred for these boxes because we think it's the biggest waste of money. And I want to go on a global tour to studios and say, stop with the crinkled little papers
Yeah.
that are zigzagged, that are, like
Yeah.
confetti.
Yeah.
And stop with the backpacks. Like,
Well,
we don't need them. It is a curse to climate change.
I totally forgot about that. What did you call it? It was like a gray backpack or bag that they
yeah, it's a
sent
drone
us.
bag.
Drone bag.
I think.
Is that part of the
Well,
show?
It could go like horizontal or it could go shoulder.
Yeah.
It was a flex hybrid bag.
But this is something to do with the show, or
No,
okay.
they just these tours of these I don't know who came up with, like, in the PR department was like backpacks, and that's all it's been for 10 years. It's like, just give us a hug. Just give
Yeah.
us another job.
How about this? So on this one, which arrived with the wine and the socks,
Yep.
and a wine
Playing cards.
yeah, a wine opener, like a bottle top for the wine,
Okay.
candies that were in there.
There was a candy.
And this is when it got so absurd. There was Teen Wolf packaging tape.
Oh, geez.
It was packaged with tape. And I looked at this and I said, how about paying us more? They kept, like, every time we negotiate, there's no money, but there's enough money for Teen Wolf packaging tape.
Yeah,
which-
I have a real issue with it. I think that there needs to be an overhaul in the Hollywood gift basket department.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it.
What's the best gift you ever got?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not really a gift giver or receiver, especially receiver. So I would say I got some boot warmers once that were amazing.
Wow.
That I can go skiing with. But otherwise, it would be like a trip or, just like a hangout. I'm more the experience generation.
It is cool to get gifts, though. Like,
You're a gifter. I can tell.
I don't get, no, I like to receive.
You like to receive the gifts.
No, like, I should have brought, like, after I was just in Sarasota, Florida, doing shows, and thank you, Sarasota, sold out all 4 shows.
That's great.
To the point where, this is something new for me, there were no single seats left for some shows. Meaning, like, if there were 3 at a table, somebody bought the single. And there were like groups of 4 came in, couldn't sit together, and they bought individual tickets around the theater. I go, this is really cool. And then people bring gifts. I encourage gifts, and I'll show.
At the shows.
Oh, they show up with mezcal.
So do you bring an extra suitcase?
Yes. No. I sell merchandise after the show. I have T-shirts.
And then you'll replace the
Eggs.
I see.
So as I sell stuff, then I go shopping to the stores and I buy jackets. I buy
You are hilarious.
yeah. And then, so this trip, bottle of mezcal. They bring peanut M&Ms for the people that don't have a big budget. Somebody brought artisan mezcal glasses, like these really cool glasses I can't wait to try. Another person brought a tumbler. They make shirts for me. They have hats for me.
So you love that stuff.
I encourage it.
You're hilarious. I can't. I'm that person that wants like a 60 capsule, personal item list in my life. Like, I want to be. I'm not a minimalist, but my goal is to be a minimalist.
Yeah.
Because I get really stressed with like stuff in the space. Like, do you not get stressed?
Well, I'll show you the inside of my place. It's
Okay,
really,
I'm very excited
it's
for your
clean.
tour.
Yeah,
It's
so
beautiful. By the
thank
way, your trailer that you live in is gorgeous. Guys,
I've done
there's
very
a
well.
house behind here.
I've done very well. The 6 seasons. What I love about you is we were there day 1
Yes.
shooting Teen Wolf.
Do you remember the first joke you ever told me?
No, I don't.
I'm going to repeat this. Can I tell like the little behind the scenes tidbit today?
Yeah, please.
So he's coming on the Teen Wolf podcast later,
Yes.
and I'm going to redo that joke.
Okay.
But this is going to be fun on your podcast. We're going to
Yeah.
get the natural reactions.
Okay.
Your first joke
Is this
to me.
inappropriate? Am I going to get canceled?
No,
Because
no.
this was 10 years ago, and you could say different things.
I don't think you're going to get canceled.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
This is a safe space. This is
Yeah.
Orny fans.
Yeah.
He was like, good thing you look good in green. And I was like, what? And he's like, because you're going to be a Starbucks barista with their paying you. And that was what you said. Yeah, you said, yeah. This was like at the end of the pilot. I was like, okay, yeah.
Well, I never thought this thing was going to get A, picked up. B, I thought it was like we're just shooting like a little sizzle reel, and it was like
kinda
a major production. And I had an arrogance because I never auditioned.
I was going to say, Jeff just knew your work, right?
This is how dumb these agents are. Okay, let me tell you something. I got a call from my agent. They said there's a guy named Jeff Davis. He created Criminal Minds on CBS. and he wants you to put you in this show called Teen Wolf on MTV. So I said, send me the script. So this is the old, they used to deliver before PDF.
And they delivered it back then?
They delivered it.
2009 or 10, yeah.
I was a big client. I was making them a lot of money. So
Okay.
yeah, it got delivered. And I went to Starbucks down the street and I read the script, and I've got to be honest.
You were watching the green barista aprons while you were reading
Yes.
this. This is where this
Yes,
happened.
see?
I see it.
I had it in mind.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the best interaction at the pilot? Crystal was, this is so, if you know Crystal, this is so Crystal. She was working out in remember we were staying in this horrible hotel.
The Artmore.
Okay, the Artmore, where if the call time was 6:30 a.m., that meant everybody was taking a shower at the exact same time, and there was no water, there was no hot water.
I forgot about that, yeah.
But we took over that hotel.
We did.
And you knew everybody in the hotel was part of this production, I think.
Yeah, for the most part. It was like a boutique hotel, yeah.
So Crystal is in the gym working out, and she's got a script. I think I had the script too. And I said, hey, how you doing? She goes, I'm here shooting a TV show. I go, really? What? Yeah, this for MTV. It's a remake of Teen. I go, that sounds fascinating. I go, really? I go, is it a big part? What do you? And we talked for like 10 minutes, and I said, it was nice to meet you. And then the next day when I walked up, remember we all took this van over together, all the principals and the actors, and she looked at me and she goes, son of a bitch. Like but how could she? It's so Crystal.
So Chris.
Like I love her.
She's always really prepared. But I didn't know that y'all met that way.
Yes, that's how we met.
Oh, that's funny.
And she'll confirm that.
That's funny.
She will confirm that. But I didn't think this. So my agent, and let this be a lesson to the young people that want to get into acting, sent me the script and I read it. Did you like the pilot?
I did. Yeah. I thought there was a certain cadence to Jeff's writing that I felt was really catchy. And then when we were on the pilot presentation, that like most of the pilot was shot in February 2010, it was like I saw the chemistry of the cast. I was like, maybe we have something. I don't know.
I thought it was a great script.
Yeah.
I read very few scripts where I say I can see the story. And I loved, season 1 was my favorite. Maybe season 2 because there was a lot of character development. There was like, I don't care about that's why I stopped reading the scripts, because there's
supernatural stuff.
The action. There's too much. When I see paragraph after paragraph, and Jeff thinks he's Shakespeare. Sorry, Jeff. Just write, Coach walks in the room. Coach eloquently
it's in their blood. They're writers.
Okay.
That's how they see the world.
Yeah. So, I get it. I just can't. I don't have the patience. So, but I did read the pilot, and I called my agent. I said, I love it. I'll take it. And they go, oh, no, he's not offering you the part.
No.
I said, he said he called and wants me to play Coach. And they go, oh, no, nobody just offers a part. You have to audition. I'll call the casting. I said, stop. This is why reps get so frustrated with me. I'm going to put your hands on the keyboard and type this. Orny loves the script. Orny will be in Atlanta next week to shoot the pilot. Thank you. Period. Sent it, and I was in Atlanta the next week shooting the pilot, and was paid whatever I was paid.
That's how I'm going to audition from now on.
Well, he wanted me, but my agents would have had me audition for casting, and casting would have said, no, we like this other guy better, and I would have never gotten the part.
I don't know. I think you had a very particular taste for Coach. I always say when everyone's like, "What? Any part you could play?" I say this. I say Coach.
I know.
Because it's just funny.
Why do you connect? And it's raining, by the way. If
we technically are in Los Angeles.
Yeah, this is the only way this podcast could happen is when it's pouring rain, pitch dark. It's the worst.
Teen Wolf said it.
Yeah, we're cursed. We had some of the worst shoots ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, that they actually were. Like when we moved to Los Angeles, all the crew said it's us and True Blood that were the hardest shows to shoot.
Yeah.
Because we were all on nights almost always.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really cold and really wet.
It was, and you
didn't have to run naked through the woods. Only that couple times.
No, I did. Well, in the script, I lost a testicle to exposure running naked through the woods. I would have loved to have. At this point, like, I wish that they would write into the script, like, Coach gets a mohawk or something interesting. My character, we don't know much about my character, do we?
No, but at the same time, that show, the supernatural shows have like 4 worlds going on at once. So I feel like there's a whole underlayer that could be made into a spinoff that has everybody's backgrounds.
How about a Coach spinoff?
Well, they're you had to be coach too.
Yeah,
It was already coach.
Yeah.
First coach.
Well, Teen Wolf Coach. Just
Wolf
Finstock.
Coach.
Just a show called Finstock.
Finstock.
I'm surprised I even know my character's name, to be honest. Like,
I'm surprised you know your last name as well.
Well,
what was your first name?
Bobby. Bobby
Oh, it was
Finstock.
Bobby
Coach Bobby
Finstock.
Finstock.
That's right.
But here's what
I
happened.
didn't know your first name on the show. You knew my first name. I did not know your first name.
Yeah. See, we don't even. Here's the other thing.
I'm getting Orny shit. Now here I am. Yeah, no, I actually didn't know your first name.
There's a lot going on in these scripts. One season I showed up and I found out that the team's name was Cyclones. Like, I don't think
I forgot about that.
I don't think we had a name, and then all of a sudden it's Cyclones all over the stadium.
Yeah, you have way better memory than I do.
I have a good memory, but yeah, I don't have any attention span for reading. What I do is now they send me the script, I search Coach, and I see how many pages I'm on, and I write Jeff. I go, what's going on here? Coach needs, and then I give suggestions, which he sometimes makes it in, but for the most part, a lot of people think I improv a lot, but I wasn't. You
didn't improv at all?
I did, but I think seasons 1, 2, and 3, like in season 1, I showed up wearing a baseball glove coaching. I brought that just to show how crazy and eccentric Coach was. I go, I'm going to show up wearing a baseball glove and just, the coach is crazy. And by season 3 or 4, there were people on the set going, look down when you say this line, then look up, then move 10 degrees this way, then...
You had never shot a show before, or you had. I mean, you shot comedy specials, but not a narrative show.
I've never done anything since. This is all I'm a stand. What have you done?
Oh,
I'm so
mostly,
jealous of people.
Mostly, I could never be a comedian. Never in a million years. I don't know how y'all do it. I've recently gotten into comedy shows. Mm-hmm. Like I'm an avid comedy goer now.
Yeah, what do you want?
Well,
stand-up shows?
Stand-up shows. So what got me into it was, oh gosh, I need to be brushed up on my, what's that guy's name? Anwar? Fatih.
Oh, yeah. He's on the Daily Show,
He's
right?
He's lovely.
Where are you seeing these shows?
Well, so what got me into it, like ripped the Band-Aid for me, was I went to the midnight showing at Comedy Cellar in New York.
Oh.
And I just died over.
Cool.
I haven't had COVID ever until I was like, if I ever get it, I want it to be worth it. I was that person that wore a mask on the plane way past the due date because I just, if I'm going to get COVID, it's got to be worth it.
Right.
And so sure enough, it's midnight, all the stagnant air in that basement. It was totally the like picking the singles kind of thing, packed house. And I kept thinking like we were laughing so hard. I was like, there's a lot of stagnant air in here.
Yeah.
2 days later, tested positive.
Wow.
So it was 100% worth it.
Wow.
And thankfully with this strand, I was fine. But I didn't realize that these like New York comics are just grungy, wild people.
Yeah.
And they were really fun. And I had no idea that, like, that's when I think I caught a little bit of the bug. So I've been to like 4 shows in the last 2 months.
When I lived in New York, I did the Comedy Cellar every single night.
Wow.
I lived walking distance, and sometimes I'd start at the Comedy Cellar because I do 2 or 3 shows. Then I'd go up to Gotham, then I'd go to Stand Up New York, and then the Comic Strip, and maybe Caroline's. I'd do this loop, and I'd end. And when I first started doing comedy there, they paid me in food.
And how long did you live in New York for?
I lived in New York maybe 4 or 5 years, and I still go back and do shows.
Do you just miss the like energy and the almost like addiction of just?
I'll tell you what they don't do in New York. Yeah, there's a phonetic energy. They don't put shit on stage. Meaning we don't care what your credits are. Like you better be
funny. There was a larger gentleman, and he was talking about shitting on the subway, and he's like, and you don't even tell people when you see it. You just walk right past them and watch the doors close, and then watch their reaction. He's like, that's New York. Yeah. That's the tourist New York.
Yeah, New York's great.
And so it was real. They had some really funny. There was one guy, I think it was the same guy saying about he didn't know what gaslighting was. He's like, a girl's gaslighting me. And he was like, I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what it means. But I accused somebody of reverse gaslighting me last week. I said that's reverse gaslighting.
Is that gas blowout?
I don't know what it is. I actually,
the lantern never lit?
I actually think gaslighting is a really important concept, and I think it really goes on, especially in our business. Like think about like how many times your reps make you feel horrible if you don't go out for something, you don't take a job, or they really wanted somebody else, but I fought for you, and it's like bullshit. They really wanted me. So I think in our business in particular, we are victims a lot of the time to gaslighting.
Oh, I go back to my first year of acting where it's like, if you can do anything else, go do that. Go do that. The autonomy in acting is obviously zilch.
Well, what I don't even. This is what I love. I know nothing about you. I've known you for 14 years,
Yeah.
6 seasons, 100 episodes of Teen Wolf. I don't even know where you're from.
Dallas, Texas.
I would have never guessed out.
Yeah.
You're a Dallas
Southern.
girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you do a lot of shows in Dallas?
I do. I actually played your stadium where your football team plays.
That's a
And-
nice stadium.
Yeah, with Jerry Jones came in with helicopter. It was me. It was
yeah.
it was a festival called Kaboo, and they had Sting and Kid Rock and who else was there?
You got good reps, Orny.
Yeah. And it was me. I did it. I did my own show. Bob Saget did a show. The late Bob Saget, and some other people. Fortune Feimster, I think, was there.
Oh yeah.
And so it was.
Fortune and I are Instagram friends.
She's great.
She's lovely. I love Jax, her wife.
Yeah. It's by the way, thanks for giving me shit on the Teen Wolf behind the scenes.
I was gonna say there's a whole Orny show. What did I tried to find that footage for today, and I can't find it.
I don't know where it is. Somebody posted me last night staring
Colton's seen all of it, and he thinks it's hilarious. He's like, Orny's my favorite part.
Oh wow.
And he doesn't wake up till noon, or I was like, okay, I gotta call Colton.
You know
But
what's
didn't make
funny?
it.
If you would say to me, "Do you think Colton likes you?" I'd say, "No, I don't think he." I don't
What?
think.
Why do you say that?
I don't think I wear the right clothes. I think he'd be
He does
upset at the
not
shirt
care.
I'm wearing right now. Yes, he does.
No, he really doesn't.
Really?
He is such a Kansas City boy. He is a weirdo.
I didn't even know he was from Kansas.
Technically, Kansas and Texas, yeah.
Nobody worked harder on a script than Colton. He used to take the scripts and he used to like have little like earmarks, different colors, and he used to
Really?
have notes. Yes, he was
I don't
very
remember
technical.
that.
'Cause
I
I-
think back in the day, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was like, if I was that good looking, I wouldn't work at all.
He would remember his lines for the whole episode. I remember that. He would like learn all his lines at once.
I loved working with him. I thought he was.
He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy,
Yeah.
and for him to be arrogant, and then I'm the one guy who I'm not a physical threat like a Loki or a Banshee, but I could yell at him. That was the best part about coaches. He could yell at these people that had these superpowers, and I was unaware.
Yeah. It is a really funny dynamic.
It's like I was like Mr. Magoo. I thought they should do a whole episode where I'm like just walking by people tied up and weird shit going on and just completely unaware, or I know and I don't care.
You know who you're like? I just realized this. What movie was that? It's Ferris Bueller. It's the teacher in Ferris Bueller with the mustache.
Bueller.
Yeah. Do you
Bueller.
know what I'm talking about? And he was like,
Bueller.
I'm going to get Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
That was Finstock.
Yeah.
That was totally Finstock.
I love this rain. This is crazy.
We have a white
Yeah,
noise machine.
Finstock was interesting. Who did you enjoy working with?
Thought you were really funny. I thought, Colton's one of my best friends, so I obviously love working with Colton.
Ask him why he doesn't like me.
Yeah. You should have him on and have a whole therapy session about it. He's the most non-judgmental person you'll ever meet.
Wow, that's nice to know.
Very, yeah.
I guess I just
Open
never,
book.
I feel like you guys all hung out. I wasn't like hanging out with the cast. I thought I would
I
get
think Ian and JR, I always, for a while I was getting Ian those like two old lady cards that like, are like whispering to each other and
Yeah.
they're very sassy.
Yeah.
There's like, I used to get Ian, and I think maybe one year I got one for JR because I always think they're these like two old ladies just like gussied up together.
when I flew in for the pilot, was seated next to JR.
Oh.
And JR, unlike Crystal, figured it out. He was in the next aisle.
He's such a like charismatic, like he's just, he knows. He's looking and he goes,
He's great.
Yeah.
And I said,
I love him.
he gave me, I'm not kidding, it might have been a DVD. This is how far back we're going, of a movie, an independent film that he had done. And he's naked in half of it.
yep, that
And I'm
tracks.
sitting on the plane, like I had to keep angling my laptop because, all of a sudden there's JR's ass hanging out. And a great
What
ass, by the
movie is
way.
this?
It's called JR's ass.
It's called JR's
It's actually
ass.
called JR's, and he's got a great ass.
He's a funny guy. I love like Ian and JR. I love them to death. They're just always up to no good. Those two, and in the best way possible. I liked working with Ian. I liked working with the first season. He's a fantastic actor as well.
Yeah, I felt the guy who plays Sheriff Stilinski,
Lyndon.
Lyndon Ashby, that guy, just really, he would sit there and he would watch me and he'd give me notes, not in a like in a really nice, loving way.
Yeah. Lyndon's great. Lyndon, I just interviewed Lyndon recently for the podcast, and he like surfs in Fiji every year. His wife's like, he
used to come to my shows in Florida. Oh, so here's what happened. On the behind the scenes, we'll get back to that. We shot this whole like behind the scenes of the shooting of Teen Wolf.
Yep.
And they asked me if it was like a family, and I said, if you mean is Teen Wolf a family in the sense that nobody here comes to my stand-up shows? Yeah, we're a big family. And
That's
then
what you're doing. This is what you're getting at. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I went to the Ice House.
Yeah, but
I think I went to the Comedy Store.
I forgot that. You know who's come the most to see me?
Jeff.
No.
Who?
No. Russell.
Oh,
Russell comes and just shows up.
He's such a cutie, man.
I love him. Yeah.
He's the best.
Yep.
He's the best.
Yeah. It's really, I found myself at the red carpet for this movie, and we're going to announce at the end whether there is a sequel or not. So stay tuned. We've come here to announce it. I found myself emotional.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I felt.
Why do you think that was?
Are
you proud of Teen Wolf? Or
yes.
You had fun on it? All the above?
I think we have had an impact. And I find when I travel, which is every week, I find I get approached nonstop by people that are just...
every show is Teen Wolf fans. You think almost every show has Teen Wolf fans that come up to you?
I think I can tell immediately if it's for my stand-up. When it's my stand-up, it's like, hey, dude, you're funny. I love your stuff, But Teen Wolf, they're just in awe. Like, they're just sort of, they can't believe they grew up with it.
Yeah.
It really touched a lot of people's lives. And I don't think we can ever forget that. But the love I felt at that premiere, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact I was on the poster for the first time.
Oh, the poster.
There are two of them. There's been
Yeah.
800 cast members that have cycled in and out. But you and we've been there since day one, and we're still there.
You, me, and Posey. That's it.
Wait a minute.
That's it. Well, Lyndon and Melissa and JR and Ian.
All right, so there's...
But I'm trying to think like in the pilot, though. You were in the pilot.
Right.
Ian was not in the pilot.
No. Wait a minute.
JR and Melissa.
And what about Sheriff Lyndon?
And Lyndon was in the... Yeah, Lyndon.
And then
I think of him as like Father Teen Wolf.
There's like 1 million people that have come.
There is. There's so many.
And,
How many do you think like listen to the podcast like of Teen Wolfers?
Mine?
It's mostly probably Orny.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly, I think they'll listen to this one. But, when I'm interviewing like an FBI profiler, they're just not.
Wait, you interview FBI profilers on your podcast?
Yeah.
You go in a lot of different directions here.
Yeah, I've got some really interesting guests. I also do something called Guest Unknown, where I'll interview people that might be like in the mafia or something, and we don't ever say their name.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you get that? I have so many questions. How do you find them?
They find me.
And they want to come on.
Yeah, I find what happens is when I was in New Orleans in November, I was walking around this neighborhood and it looked like a nice neighborhood, and I found a nice little spot outside, and I was looking at the menu, and I asked these guys, I said, how's the food here? And they said, what are you doing in this neighborhood? I said, what do you mean? They said, you shouldn't be in this neighborhood. I go, I said, see the guy across the street on the bike? The guy's following you. This is what they do. They're going to, he's going to corner you and mug you.
In New Orleans?
It's New Orleans. New Orleans can be a dangerous city.
Right,
so they said, sit down, we're going to buy you lunch. And they were what I would describe as Creole Mafia.
No.
They were like, they were connected. And
that's had to be the first time that's happened to you.
No, it happens all the time. And these people come out to my shows, say, and...
do you have a mafia following?
I don't know if I have a mafia. I think, here's the truth and why I started this podcast. I tend to get into conversations with people and they tell me things that they would never tell. In fact, a lot of the times when we're done recording, they'll tell me to delete something because people just open up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not judgmental.
Right.
And
no,
I think
you're not.
everybody's got a story, and I'm intrigued by it. And I ended up spending the day with those guys in New Orleans, and they,
wow.
They said, you should know that most people like in the French Quarter have guns. And I said, do you have guns on you? And they said, yeah, we do. You'd never know that they had guns.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is like the best ghost tour of all time.
Yeah, I think
get the mafia tour of
New
Orleans.
Yeah, so I think people that want a real conversation, they'll listen to this. Like there's no bullshit. Like if I want to call out Teen Wolf, I'll say things that aren't good for my
career. So not
career.
every episode is like a funny episode necessarily. It's like a story sometimes.
No, some of them aren't funny at all. Some of them are poignant. Some of them are talking about cancel culture. Some of them are specific to something I read. I did a whole one on sociopaths after I read a book called The Sociopath Next Door. So I like to get into people's heads. And the one with the FBI profiler, Jim Clemente, we were two people trying to break each other. It's like a chess match. And I think I broke him.
This is what's happening this episode.
Yeah, we're going to break.
Yeah. Who's going to break first?
Well, we're going to get to the Dallas. We're going to find out a little.
I'm not a fan of Dallas.
I actually spoke to some of your childhood friends.
Oh, did you? Which ones?
Yes.
Which ones?
Karen. Yeah, I did. I spoke to Karen.
I know a Karen.
I know you know Karen. Told me a lot.
This is like a psychic where you throw out a really common name. And then it's like, did you speak to Karen? But Karen's part of my LA crew. She's yeah.
You don't have a Dallas accent.
Not really. But the first show I did was for HBO with Gary Cole and Leslie Jordan. And Mary Kay and Kathleen Lanaza, who's Fridge Stewart's wife at the time. And I had booked it on tape, and I'd been acting like 2 months out in Los Angeles. And it was a long road to get into the business for me, but it was when I officially got in, I got very lucky and booked that show a couple months in.
Is Teen Wolf the biggest project you've worked on?
Well, the fanciest one was probably this HBO one, and we did our 6 episodes. We premiered during the Sopranos finale.
Wow.
And I had gone on tape, but it was called 12 Miles of Bad Road, about this street called Northwest Highway in Dallas, Texas. And I just sort of subconsciously went into Dallas mode. And then when they booked me off of tape, they're like, your Dallas accent is impeccable. And I was like, oh, well, I'm from Dallas. And then I show up to wardrobe and I'm playing like the snooty girl that's wearing the exact same uniform that I wore at this all-girls school for 13 years. Or 11 years, 5 to 16. But it was just, they had changed the color. So I went all the way out to LA to then go back to the all-girls school I went to, but in a narrative sense.
Yeah.
And it was about like a fancy real estate family in Dallas, Texas.
So you're a rich kid.
I was like upper middle class.
Huh.
I grew up around a lot of privilege.
What'd your parents do?
My dad's a pediatric surgeon and does liver and kidney transplants.
For kids?
For kids.
Why are kids, are they drinking too much? A lot of these young kids, they're boozers and they're blowing out their kidneys early and then they've got to see your dad.
Well, it's really the popcorn lung that these kids are really suffering from. Oh, man.
That's real, huh? That's from the vapes and stuff like that?
The Juuls, yeah.
The Juuls, yeah. Bad stuff.
But no, yeah, my dad did his residency out in Children's Hospital in here. So I lived in LA till I was 4 with my parents. Oh. And then my dad wanted to be, I think, like the hotshot LA doctor, but he came from nothing, did not have the money to do that.
Huh.
And so, yeah, they bought a house out in Northridge and like flipped it and doubled their money in like 2 years.
Where the Teen Wolf stages were at one point.
Yep. Like 5 minutes from my parents' old house. And so
this is weird.
Yeah. And then my mom was from Anaheim initially, so she was like a California girl, and then moved to Texas later in her life.
Right.
And then I did the opposite, born in Texas, came out here. But yeah, so that's what my mom was basically like, we're gonna go back to Dallas. It's cheaper there. And so they doubled their money on that house, and he got done with residency, and his fancy Beverly Hills doctor dreams were crushed, and they went back to Dallas.
Yeah.
And there was not a big pediatric department back then.
Huh.
So they're one of the more premier ones now. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
and are you an only child?
Oldest of 4.
What?
Yeah. I'm the oldest.
I know nothing about you. How come you don't bring these people? Never came to the set.
My dad has not visited. He's visited LA once in 17 years.
Do the people you date know that you have siblings? I feel like you're keeping this from everybody.
I dated a guy for 1.5 years and he never met my family. No.
Do I know that guy?
Yes. And so, yeah, it's weird that it's just my family and I are close. It's not that we're not close. It's not there's no bad blood. I'm the oldest of 4. They kick you out and they got 3 more left.
And so what do those kids do?
My brother's the real black sheep. He's a rock climber, and he was a professional rock climber for a number of years.
Doesn't that scare you?
Not really. I mean, she was a Sherpa over in Western Europe, and then he quit it all. Well, he broke his collarbone a few years in, and then had to go to college pretty late, and then got recruited by the intelligence department. And so now he works as a private contractor for the
CIA.
Which one is it? I don't know. NSA.
Huh.
Yeah, something like that.
And what are the other
he was there
siblings
for a while. So yeah, brother ended up in Hawaii, and then the other siblings are. My sister's very normal. Got married at 23. Goes to church twice a week.
Wow. What? Really? Religious family?
No, but she is.
Oh.
Yeah, she is. And then she went to Auburn, like very southern. She is as southern gets.
Wow.
She's a really sweet woman, and she's got a little boy, 2 years old, and great husband. And yeah, they're just chilling out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Isn't it weird? I have normal siblings too, and
I have such normal siblings.
Very bizarre.
Well, my brother's not so normal. I'm normal compared to him, but then my other brother, goes to UT, plays golf.
I think they're happier than normal people.
What, my siblings?
Not your. I just think in general, I feel like my siblings are. They have normalcy. Like it's about family.
I used to want to always do the weird thing, and now as I get older, all I want to do is just barbecue on the weekends.
Yeah. Well, wait till just give it 10 more years.
I'll be just.
You'll be living up here away from I don't need to see anybody. I got a fence around my place.
You know what you need? You need a pellet grill out here. You need to smoke some ribs.
I have a nice grill on the other side. You haven't seen the full tour yet.
You
haven't been inside. You'll get inside next. You'll see. Something you said made me think of something. You said Dallas kids. Yep. I had it. And then
rock climber.
Rock climbing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the next episode, on episode 74,
yes.
I was going to talk about this documentary called Torn.
Ooh,
do you know this?
No, but I almost know every single rock climbing documentary, so I'm very excited about this.
So this is there a difference between people that climb mountains like Everest? Is that a rock climber?
That's like a mountaineer.
Okay, so this guy really was one of the top guys, and he ended up marrying, having kids, but was very selfish and was just like neglected the kids. And he had this climbing buddy, and they were, I think, in the Himalayas or somewhere like that, and there was an avalanche in it, and it killed him. He got killed, and the friend went to pay respects to the wife and ends up marrying her.
Wait, Conrad Anker.
Yeah, is that who it is?
Yeah.
And who's the other guy? It's very bizarre.
He passed away.
Yeah.
So Conrad and I have met once.
Well, did he try and sleep with you too? This guy's a little bit of a whore.
No. So it's a really crazy. Have you seen Maru?
No, what's that?
Maru's an incredible documentary that chronicles that story. And oh gosh, what is his name?
So the guy, it's sort of touching because.
Past. But Conrad's an amazing
I just
guy.
had it. It's like Ashton. No, it's oh man, the poor guy. He said the day before he died that he really wanted to take his family to Disneyland, and so Conrad drove to the family and said, "I'm taking you to Disneyland." Little did the kids know he's trying to get with the wife.
No, not at that point. I think they came together. I mean, I don't know how they came together, but I would imagine through like the love of that missing person.
It's
and
a
the grief
grieving, yes.
But they also had so much in common because the wife was like a climber too. She was I don't know if she was a climber, but she was like an outdoorsy girl. They were all like Colorado, Oregon type people.
But how are you not afraid for your brother? I mean, it's to me, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. He's not doing like free solo. He's not doing big mountain skiing. He's not doing mountaineering. So he, there could still be like minor accidents that turn into major accidents. If the big enough rock falls the wrong way, it can.
This was an avalanche that got this guy.
Yeah, the big mountain stuff is really gnarly. Yeah, Maru's a great documentary to check out. Jimmy Chin, his story's in there. Renan Ozturk is another climber.
Oh, you really know this?
Oh yeah, no. I go to an outdoor. This is niche. An outdoor mountaineering film festival. Outdoor mountaineering. Documentary film festival.
What is this?
Every,
What's it
it's
called?
called Mountain Film in
where is
Telluride. It's a great community out there.
Oh, cool.
And I built a van in 2020 that I converted. And there's like a big van life community out there that stays at the festival.
I know you are a minimalist. You're into this.
I love it. I love to own nothing. That's my goal.
Wow.
It would be so fun to. Posey is an actual minimalist. He came to Atlanta to film Teen Wolf with just a backpack. Ironically, not one that Teen Wolf gave him.
You got to see how much I travel with. I've got huge, like when I was in Sarasota.
Does it not stress you out?
So stressed out. But I have so many outfits. I have such a fear of not having the right outfit at any moment. Like I'm just
nutty.
I have so much. I love.
If it does not, so all the clothes.
You think Colton would respect me for this? He showed up. What was he wearing for that premiere?
You guys will go real wild. You guys will go. Oh, he wore a whole get-up for the premiere.
What was he? Inspector Gadget? What was it?
Yeah, it was Inspector Gadget with the cape. I'm trying to remember. I should know the designer, and I'm forgetting. Oh, he would kill me.
Yeah, you guys all took it real seriously, and then then Lyndon just showed up.
Oh, Lyndon doesn't give a shit.
Like he just
No, I love Lyndon. If I could be Lyndon and just chilling with my pretty wife
Yeah.
and my really successful, sweet, close family.
Yeah.
You know, his daughter's he has two, his poultry scientist and a lawyer.
Wow.
I mean, two actors raising a poultry scientist and a lawyer, and they're all really tight knit. So Lyndon and Susan, I love their life.
Saved my life.
What do you mean?
When we were in Atlanta shooting the film, we were driving to some bar for dinner after shooting, and a car comes flying and it's spinning. I go, Lyndon, it's coming at us. And I don't know how he so fast went to the right, like almost off the street, and then came back on. And then we were all just like shocked.
That's wild.
Yeah, he had amazing reflexes.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What Teen Wolf, does it bother you that it defines so much of your life?
No, I think, you just this business is such a crapshoot. And I love that when people are like, one of my pet peeves is when luck is not given enough credit. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean somebody didn't work hard. Everybody works hard.
Right.
I think there's bad actors that make it. I think there's good actors that make it. And there's bad actors that don't make it. And there's good actors that don't make it.
Yeah.
There's all the combinations. So it's like, if you do make it, whether you're good or bad, it's like, there's a lot of, people that maybe shouldn't have made it. But the people that, it's like, if you're talented and you made it, you're also lucky. And that's okay to admit. And I find that there's a lot of resistance to admitting that luck's a part of the equation. So I'm just here to, I'm happy I get to work, and I would have that attitude no matter how up or down the scale I succeed. Yeah. And I have a very pragmatic.
I think that's smart. That's smart
opinion about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I wish I booked 5 other pilots that I really thought I was going to book since Teen Wolf wrapped? Absolutely. Like, everybody has those stories. And those are the darlings you can't kill. Like, they'll always get you. You see the posters around town. You're like, oh,
that's why. Yeah, that's why.
You really loved that show.
Yeah, that's why. First of all, I thought this was going to be a pilot that never went to series, and I thought, doesn't matter. I shot a pilot. That's on my resume for life. I'm set. Meanwhile, I've gotten 0 auditions from being on this show, which I'm fine with. I do feel very lucky and very fortunate. I'm also very frustrated by the show. I wish my part was bigger. I wish there was a storyline. I wish I've pitched it a million times. But at the same time, I'm smart enough to know that I am lucky to be on a show that went 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And I know to shut up.
That's so rare.
Rare.
Yes.
That's why when people left, and I would say, why are you leaving?
It's just not, teach their own. And, everyone has their reasons. But, it just wasn't my personal style, because I liked going to work every day. Posey and I, as far as the series regulars, were the only 2 that stayed for 100 episodes. And I was
in 100.
I was in 99. And so, because of my first season contract, yeah, I was credited for 100, but I was in 99, and I was still there because I think we were block shooting or something like that. But so I was there for the 100 episodes. They don't let you leave. No.
Hotel California.
Yeah,
you can check in anytime you want.
Yeah, totally. But I would say overall, I'm just really blessed that this did happen to me. And if I was known for 4 shows, I would be so grateful for being known for those 4 shows. If I'm only known for Teen Wolf, great, I'm only known for Teen Wolf. And my thing comes at the end of the day of job security. I just want job security. Yeah. I want to have a good life. I used to want to really chase particular work. And I just found that happiness doesn't follow that. And so our contentment doesn't follow that. And I'm like, nope, I'm here. I got in my van. I lived in my van full time for 13 months. It was 60 square feet, so a lot smaller than your house here at this trailer. Wow. And the amount of fun I had, there was these van meetups, 700 rigs in the desert.
Are you alone?
Yeah, I was alone. Yeah.
Safe?
Yeah. Oh, so safe. So safe. That's the misnomer of the community's relatively small. So everyone's pretty much connected. You meet somebody at the top of a mountain, which you do all the time. I was my first time in grizzly territory with Feifel, my little 15-pound dog. And there was this beautiful lake at the top of this mountain in Montana. And I'd just gotten done with hanging out with people on this river for 2 months, where we'd have a different bonfire. There's 6 down the beach, and we would set up bars and have different themes. And you'd borrow each other's motorbikes and kayaks and paddle boards and photography equipment. And it was just a free for all.
Sounds like a midlife crisis.
Oh, it's adult summer camp. It's totally adult summer camp.
How long did you do this for?
I did it for 13 months, and I miss it. I miss it that I'm not full time anymore.
So why don't you do that? I mean, because I'm going to tell you something.
Life's short.
Well, I say this all the time on the podcast. One of the only reasons, like, I'm involved in something right now that we're trying to sell. And I'm always involved in, projects. But part of me just wants to sell it so I can tell people I sold it. Like, I don't need more. Knock on wood. I don't need more. I'm very
Maybe you want to
content.
tell yourself you sold it
Well,
more than anybody else.
if I didn't like look around and say, wow, this person's now doing movies, this person's doing that, I would be very content. And I think that maybe for you, life is that. It's just owning very
I'm about
little.
just hanging out. Yeah, I really want to hang out. That's my big goal.
Are you a stoner?
No, I'm really not. I just love, I love skiing. I love sailing. Those are my two big reasons for the van.
Mm-hmm.
I love making a fire and just hanging out. That's my goal. And
So
watching dogs play.
You're sleeping in the van by yourself.
Yeah, you sleep in the van.
You don't
yeah.
worry like somebody's just.
No, I mean, yes, it can happen. It did not happen to me, but it's happened to my other friends. But even at the top of the mountain, everyone's in the van for a reason. Usually, their vehicles. And there was this guy in grizzly territory, and it turns out we have like 13 mutual friends, and it's kind of high school when you're like, oh, he's got my same rig. He's got a 144 Sprinter. He can't be that bad. And but it's funny, yeah. Like, everyone's especially the men are very protective, very courteous.
But it's
of the
not the
women.
van people. It's the predators that are.
But you're out in like random, absolute wilderness. Like you're in BLM land. You're in the middle of nowhere.
What's BLM?
Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also Black Lives Matter, but
That's what I was saying.
yeah,
Well, I didn't. Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
So, and you're cooking.
yeah, you have a 2-burner stove. You've got
Where's the bathroom?
some people don't have it. Some people have a shovel. I have a composting toilet.
Okay.
I love my composting toilet.
And where's the shower?
So some people don't have showers. I built mine with a shower.
Oh.
And it has a recirculating plumbing system. So I go into
Four
recirc
seasons.
mode. Oh yeah, so I can do a 20-minute hot shower because I had 2 heat exchanges, and then go into regular mode and kind of because you get a little murky in the recirc mode with the soap.
Yeah.
You go into clear mode, rinse off with the clean water, and be done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
great.
it's recycling the water?
Yeah, you go into recirc mode and recycle the water, so you could take like a 20-minute hot shower but only use 5 gallons because you only have 34 gallons in the van. So water conservation. I have 600 watts of solar.
And so how often are you showering? When you're
I
out
would
there?
shower about every 3 to 4 days. Not your style. I could tell. right now.
No, I like, I'm ready for I showered before. I'm going to shower after this. No, but I'm really into water conservation.
Well,
That's
yeah,
my
there you
thing.
go. That is is it really?
Yeah, I get furious when I see people like with the faucet running when they're brushing their teeth.
Oh yeah. Okay, no. So
I take short showers.
Okay.
If you own a home, you see the water prices too. That helps.
that helps.
But they're going to start recycling our toilet water in California.
I didn't know
into
this.
tap water.
What? When is that happening?
Yeah, toilet to tap. A couple of years away. People are going to be talking about it. We're all talking about global warming.
Where's that podcast?
Yeah,
Toilet to tap.
Toilet to tap is my next. I didn't want to say something. That's what I'm trying to
That's farm to
sell
table
right now.
right there. That is some hippie shit.
Yeah, this guy was trying to explain it to me, and he said, he goes, yeah, we can get out 100% of the impurities out of the water. And
I'm sure they could.
Yeah, but you know what they can't get out is the thought.
I was gonna say.
The thought that this was once in a toilet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my main goal is like if I could somehow just like work half the year, be half the year on my own terms. My goal was to take it on it's like $2,500 in 10 days on a ferry where you could take the van from like Scandinavia to Morocco. So that was one of my goals.
Are you dating somebody when you're doing this, or is this do you have to be single?
Ideally, I would love to have like a partner in the van, but if you're not, no, you're just
So what happens if you fall in love with somebody and they're not a van life person?
Well, here's my situation, Orny.
Is that what we're in?
That's the kind of what we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta, it's a lot of, you gotta pick. It's hard choices in life.
Can you convert like you convert the van? Can you convert?
You try.
Yeah.
You try.
Because it feels like this is a big part of your life and in your happiness.
I would say so. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of freedom in that life. And it's a lot of like, the days move a lot slower in that life. And I like that because I don't like looking up and you're like, whoa, it's been 18 months. How is that possible?
But you're not up on the mountain going, I have no Wi-Fi. What if my agent's just got an offer?
No, because you get Wi-Fi pretty often. Depending where you are in the world, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have like Starlink, you have all these different Wi-Fi boosters, so you get decent Wi-Fi.
And do you still have that van?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Are your parents proud of you?
Yes, I think so. My dad's very much about the bottom line. He's like, how much money are you making?
Yeah.
Can you do this? My mom, it does not matter. I could be Elon Musk or the homeless person down the street and it would not matter. Yeah, no, my mom's just chilling.
Have they expressed to you? Because I'll say this. My parents were at my show in Sarasota at McCurdy's when it was wall to wall, and they're screaming. Like
they're so happy.
Yeah, because I've been doing this, 30
You
years.
have been hitting the pavement.
Yeah. And
You
I
have
have
dedication.
in my special that was on Showtime several years ago has now gotten a lot of traction, A Second Life on YouTube, and people are coming out and they're, they know me. And my parents are going, this is remarkable. And I really got the sense they're really sort of proud. And they also understood how much work goes into this life, which is important. So.
Do you get tired of the travel?
I hate it.
Oh, you do?
Oh, wait till I tell you what happened to my flight going in. I thought we were in trouble. I thought we were in trouble landing in Sarasota. Yeah, I fly every week. It takes a lot to shake me. And I thought we had a real malfunction with this plane. And I thought...
From LA, a big plane.
We connected in North Carolina.
Oh, that's right. That makes... Okay, so a smaller plane.
Yeah, I actually recorded the pilots coming on and making the announcement. I'm going to play it on the next episode. Yeah.
Oh, you have to play that for me after we get off this.
I'll tell you what happened. It's really freaky. I've got to think about how to present it, because if I don't think things through, it's like my presentation of the Torn documentary, which I don't know anyone's names. I'm like, the guy married somebody that...
Are they coming on your podcast?
My parents?
No, the Torn doc.
Well, I'd love to have that guy on. I'd love to talk to him.
You're talking about the Torn doc.
I will talk about it, yes.
Oh, very cool.
But I'll take him. I mean, You
got to watch Maru before you do 74. Because
where is Maru? Which
I think like Netflix or iTunes
or Paramount Plus or
Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Somehow we're on this movie on Paramount Plus. I think it did well.
Yeah, it did really well. I mean, Paramount Plus blew up overnight. It feels like.
Yeah, I think we're the reason.
No, Taylor Sheridan, I think, is ultimately the reason.
Who's that?
Yellowstone.
Okay.
Creator of Yellowstone.
And that's the one Ian's on, right?
Ian's on Yellowstone,
So
yes.
I didn't even know Ian was still working. I thought this guy's probably back to bartending. That's the truth.
No.
No knock on him, or he's a great actor.
No, he's hit his stride, man. He's doing great.
He's on the #1 show. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really great, but I don't follow anybody.
Ian is a guy that knows how to have fun. That boy is always golfing and skiing and living up life. I really admire him.
Not
me.
You.
Not you.
I'm.
You're in Sarasota going down.
I'm in fear of. If I'm not working all the time, I'm not relevant. I'm not. Work is.
So do you enjoy the work then?
Yeah, I think so. It defines.
You just
me.
don't like the travel.
I hate the travel.
That's quite the conflict.
Yeah.
Because you love the work, but you hate the travel as a comedian.
I love making money, but I hate what you're supposed to do with the money afterwards, investing.
You need to hologram yourself into shows. So then you could get rid of the travel aspect of it.
Yeah. Nothing brings me, being on stage is amazing. And I don't feel that when I shoot something. I love it, but there's a lot of sitting around.
The comedian life and actor life, I know they get kind of lumped in together because so many comedians go on to do shows, but it's a completely different career.
Right.
And people, I think, overlook that. What you do is so foreign to me. But
why? Ask me a question. I'll give you an answer.
I know it can be a very lucrative job. It's obviously very tedious. How crowds make a big difference, obviously. In the shows I've gone to recently, this fucking crowd sucks. They just hated the crowd. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, I was told this crowd's a tough one, Yeah. Or the crowd's overly joyous. Mm-hmm. How is your relationship? Do you care if the crowd sucks? Does it egg you on more to dig deeper?
I find
or do you give up? You're like, fuck these people.
No, I mean, I find I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And I find sometimes the crowds, there's more resistance or they're not rolling, and I have to think more where I'm going to go next on stage. I'm really free up there where I'm going to go. It's a puzzle. And it's also sort of sometimes you're in front of audiences that maybe have different beliefs than you.
I know, that's so true.
They're maybe cheering for things that you're mocking, and you're like, wait a minute.
I'm
making fun of this group of people. Funny. And
do you know Z-Way?
No. I do know that. It's a supermarket.
She's a chick that has a show that has a very interesting slant on the comedy, that she makes fun of a lot of tropes or beliefs or stereotypes about essentially white people. And she has a lot of fans everywhere, but we laugh and we're being made fun of at the same time. But it's a shtick.
Yeah, we should laugh at all this stuff. The world is absurd.
She has a very highbrow version of it. And,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, she's interesting. Yeah.
What I think is interesting is that people think I'm like this edgy comment. Like, thank God somebody's saying it. I'm like, I'm not even that edgy, but I'm like, I've become the Pied Piper for, these people that
Really?
think, I guess, according to the comments on
Who's
YouTube.
your biggest demographic?
George Carlin. Just, yeah, my
I just
demographic.
saw George Carlin.
It actually, he's a demographic, but I thought.
He reminds you of you remind me of a young George Carlin, but you're not as angry.
Or is good.
That's not true.
Nobody can top Carlin. I'm only as.
He wasn't my favorite that night, but
Yeah.
I could
Well,
tell.
he's dead now.
Who was it that I was? Guy with like short hair to the shoulders.
Oh, Mark Maron.
Maybe it's Mark Maron.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Mark Maron.
Boy, if he knew that you just compared him to Carlin, it's gonna tickle him.
Mark Maron is funny though.
I did his
He is funny.
podcast. That was
He's
an
fun.
interesting podcast. He's
a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a smart.
Yeah.
It was did a lot for me, so I appreciate.
Well, yeah,
it.
you can tell, and I noticed going to the shows when like people have like this armor they can put on, and it's so professional and precise, and the way their delivery is. I'm so bad with names. What is this chick that I just saw recently that was lovely?
I'm going to say this. I don't think you should ever blame the audience. And
interesting.
If you want to hear someone else tell the story, I was on Whitney Cummings' podcast.
Okay.
And she
She's
tells
hilarious.
a story about us in Montreal together. And we were doing a show which Steve Martin was hosting.
Oh.
And she'll tell the story about how everybody wasn't doing well. And then I did well. And she says that's the night she learned that there's no such thing as a bad audience. And I think, to me, it's a challenge to make adjustments. And if you see me live sometimes I get up on stage and I just mumble and I look at my note. I don't say anything for a few minutes and I let them think I don't know what I'm doing. And then boom, boom, boom. So it's all about making adjustments. So that's what's fun. Whereas Teen Wolf, you show up and they're like, stand here, say it. Like sometimes they'll come on the set and go, start yelling. I go, no, I don't want to yell. Yell. Your coach, yell. Faster. Say the line faster.
They love to be to yell. You had to yell.
Yeah, always had to yell. I haven't seen the movie yet.
What?
I haven't
You didn't stay that night
No,
on the red carpet to go
No.
see the premiere?
no.
Why?
I had a show.
That's right. I actually remember this now. You're
I
like,
left.
I gotta go.
Yeah, at Paramount. I didn't think I was even invited to the premiere.
Oh.
And so they gave us all a car, which was great. So I said, can the car take me? So it took me to the Improv. I did a show with Adam Carolla.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, and then went back
The
to the
OG
party.
podcaster, my God.
I'm doing it again on Monday.
That's great.
Actually, by the time you hear this, I will have been at the Ice House,
Yep.
which they just reopened Saturday night, and I'm doing Carolla's podcast, this will air probably the same day. Yeah, so you know the podcasting community.
Ish. I like Smartless. I like all of the crypto podcasts, like Pomp podcast. I like a lot. Anthony Pomp, I think his name is. I mean, Whitney Cummings is just hilarious, and she's
You should see us
mastered.
together. Where there's a clip on the internet where she left something on stage and I was going on after her and she hadn't returned my text messages and she came back to get it and I just started yelling at her, return my text
You
messages.
got her.
And then she got up on stage and we had this whole 20-minute banter that was really funny. Yeah, Whitney's she's a dear friend and she's funny. What is your podcast about?
It's a Teen Wolf rewatch podcast. So
Oh,
I watched you don't have to watch it. And I take you through the episode, but then at the same time, it's like getting to know the person behind the character. And my goal is to have, directors on, casting director, the executives, makeup artists, special effects, just all different, over 100 episodes. Just,
I have
producers.
seen very few episodes.
it's okay. We're going to take you through it.
And I haven't seen the movie. I don't read the scripts. I show up. Although I love it. I hope we do
We'll
it.
this will be the introduction Teen Wolf podcast.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. I mean, do you think we're going to do another movie?
I have no idea. I'm just along for the ride. I don't have any pretense or expectation of anything in my life.
If you were up on the mountain in your van and you got a call that we're doing a sequel, would you do it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, acting is my first and foremost job and obligation. And I fit, I think as actors, we're pretty lucky. Comics, not so much. You guys stay busy, man.
Yeah, we don't, there's no 18 months in a van for comics.
No.
Your career's over.
Correct. That's just nuts. That you guys just,
Why
what do you do for your downtime? When is your downtime?
There's no
What do you do?
downtime. I'm buzzing constantly.
So what do you do on the planes?
Buzzing.
So you're riding on planes.
Yeah, or I'm like this. I've just been on stage in front of, a few thousand people. There's a meet and greet afterwards, and there's people lined up, and they're buying merchandise, and they have stories, and they've seen me 20 times. And
Do
they
you
show
ever
me
see yourself
pictures.
retiring?
Yeah, during COVID, I wanted to retire. You know, I could retire if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could retire. But I love it so much.
love
And I
it,
feel
okay.
like I have at least one more hour to give. And, you know, you forget that, like, people come up to you that, you know, are battling cancer and they went through something and they connected, or they listened to this podcast, and they send the most eloquent emails. I want to say this to all the people that have sent emails to what's wrong at ornyadams.com or through my website. I read all of them. And these are pages of emails. I just can't respond. And I feel funny just responding. Hey, got it, love it. I don't want to be dismissive.
Right.
Do you feel a sense of obligation on social media to respond to every?
No, I don't. It's too much on social media. However, when we go to conventions I think are the closest we'll get to being able to like read a crowd, feel their energy. It's so different from country to country.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to go from like Brazil to Germany, because Germany just sits there stone faced and they're like, they think it's really funny. And you're like, no, they don't. And like, that's the German humor. And then you go to Brazil and it's like, they could be worshiping you, yet they hate you.
Are they still doing those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the closest I think I've ever gotten to this idea of like a comedian's life and meeting fans one-on-one. But that's been absolutely the most impactful connection for me, was like sitting down with the meet and greets and getting to know why they love the show so much and what's going on in their life and what village they're from and what do they do after school and who are their parents and how do they have dogs and cats, and just getting to know where the love for the show comes in.
Do you feel it's exploitive?
The conventions, for 8 months, I would not go to them. And that's when I got all these DMs on social media, on social media saying like, please, 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 please. And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, because
you do make money at them. And then I realized people like meet their best friends that they had been online talking to for 3 years.
Yeah, and then they stay in the same hotel room, and then there's drama, there are fights.
Not even drama, but they meet their best friends, and like that's their reprieve, and that's like I'm obsessed with YouTube. I love YouTube. I think YouTube has. I love all the travel couples. I think that they built incredible businesses. That a lot of them came from like a very blue collar background, and within 5 years they have a 7-figure business. I mean. I find it fascinating. And that's how they feel about Teen Wolf. And so it's like, I get the fangirl thing.
But to charge that much to meet or charge, like I always say, come to one of my shows.
I don't really know how much they charge. I know that sometimes it's been not that bad. And then I hear sometimes it's worse. So it's the promoter charging the prices and but people like, it's their vacation. Right. It's how I get my van. That's what they do. And everyone's got their thing that makes them say like, I'm going to fuck off and, take work off for a week. And so that's a huge outlet for a lot of people. Yeah. Just like, people might think my van's weird and it's like, oh, I love it. Yeah. And so it's the same
I think that's cool. Like I know nothing about you. It's like so strange. Like I have a million questions. Like I'd love to get into your psyche, but I feel like I've got to get to know you first, then break you down.
I'm a very boring, very like matter of fact person.
You're not this person. I've never met this person on the set. This is the most we've ever talked.
Yeah. Well, I would say Melissa Ponzio and Lyndon are also probably pretty pragmatic people. JR and Ian, not so much.
But I talked to like Ian, Ian, I used to talk to more early on. But Lyndon, I would talk on the set a lot, and
Lyndon's in his own world, man. He is like a dad and a wife, a dad and a husband, and he's just chilling. A surfer, like he is in very much his own world.
But he also sort of plays, psychiatrist on the set to some of the people that might be like thinking of leaving the show, or like when the movie was coming together, there was a time where it wasn't going to come together, and Lyndon jumped in. And
he did. He and I both did.
Yeah.
Lyndon and I had a conversation about that. He's I think he's in the same, or I should say I'm in the same boat he is. Like he's just really grateful, and he also did a lot right. He had an incredible, he has an incredible love story over many decades.
His wife, that's another love story.
Yeah, there's that too. There's Lyndon and he himself, me, myself, and I, and then there was Susan.
Yeah.
He got really lucky and he worked really hard to create his own very safe, beautiful world.
Yeah.
And so I think when it comes to the business, he just has gratitude. And when he sees people that don't or are struggling to find that gratitude, he's a really solid reminder of like, you don't know where. Lyndon's had so many almost truly movie star moments.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been a very successful, very lucrative working actor. I mean, he's had a great career. So has Susan. They're my heroes. I've said, if you can be a working actor in this business, raise kids, have a fun life, have a good retirement, they have all those. Like he sat down and gave me a ton of financial advice.
Wow.
Lyndon, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
Why did they kill Derek in the movie?
Oh, we're giving that away. Yeah.
I know that because on social media, people are very upset at Jeff for killing. Why did they kill Derek? I love
think there's
Derek.
a lot of moving parts to it. I think that, first of all, Tyler, we were really lucky to get Tyler to do the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was available, but he was barely available because of the show he was shooting of Superman. And so.
And then they made him work 15 days.
Not even though. I think it was like 8.
I think it was very cool of him to come back and do that.
He wasn't there for a lot of days. Like he was in, out. And so, I think that was what was in the cards for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Unfortunately, like we only have so much power. Even Jeff only has so much power.
Well, I want to say this in Jeff's defense, okay? Because a lot of people, like, maybe the agreement with Tyler, I don't know this, was I will come back, but I want to end my character and I want to be done. So there's no speculation and that's it.
Yeah. We don't know. There's a million moving parts between the studio, the creator, the actor, the scheduling. There's a lot.
Like when Crystal was killed, I believe, I may be wrong, I think she wanted to leave the show.
She seemed to want to explore other options, yeah.
So, but you're angry at Jeff. And the other thing is, when some people didn't come back to this movie, there's more to it. Like, a lot of people jump on Jeff's back, and they give him a lot of shit. And, he's...
Well, I'll just say this. No one made a lot of money for that movie. It was not about salaries and who was getting paid more or less. And everybody probably had a grievance on the professional side of Teen Wolf, the movie. I think that's probably pretty accurate that almost everyone, and that's okay. You can then still go to work and be really grateful for the opportunity and get to see all your friends again. And I loved working for the bosses that I worked for. And so people that chose not to come on the Teen Wolf, the movie, like if it was for that reason, I wish they would have known everybody else's story because they were in the
I think
same
they were
boat.
pretty open with what people were getting paid. It was sort of tiered, and I got it, and I get it. And, this has never been the biggest revenue source for me, but I've been hugely grateful. But I want to have Jeff on because Jeff gets attacked all the time.
And he deserves, he deserves better. And also, like, to the actors that left the shows, it's like, to each their own, and you gotta let people live, and you can't, just because, like, I think back in the day, I liked Downton Abbey, and there was a character that got killed off, and you're like, well, yeah, that's a person, and he's going to go do other things. You can't be wrapped up in, they can't live their life for other people.
And by the way, they may come back. Crystal died, she came back.
She came back.
It isn't forever, but like, I just think that, like, here's the thing. I love the fans.
They're amazing.
They come up to me and they really want to know why I hate Greenberg. And they don't understand. I'm not Coach. I'm Orny Adams walking through the airport.
Really intense,
but they really, really get into this world. And God bless them. It's great. I love it. But you have to understand that these are humans outside of.
Well, and some people get it. And then, bless their hearts. There's the sweethearts that are so diehard. They just don't. And usually they're younger, or, but that was part of my job at meet and greets is like, I would sit down with people and go, well, and I don't know if, kind of ripping the curtain back for the wizard was a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm like, I will tell you how it is.
Which is what? Where were you doing this?
Just at conventions and meet and greets all over the world.
Oh, and some people got in trouble at the meet and greets for saying things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, in fact, I know for a fact if other actors said they didn't read the script or watch the show, they get in trouble. But Coach can get away. It's interesting who can get away with what.
I know.
We're going to wrap it up shortly. Holland Roden, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Plays Lydia. Did I get that right?
You got that part. Do you know my last name?
Wait a minute. On the show.
Yeah.
Lydia.
Trivia.
I mean, why would Lydia have a last name? There's only one Lydia in Beacon Hills. Lydia, wait, don't say it. What?
I'll pick it up in the next podcast.
Well, wait a minute. Are you Lydia? It's not Stilinski. It's not.
It might be Stilinski now that they were together after the movie.
Don't tell me that. I didn't know this.
Yeah, they were together.
What Lydia? What does it begin with?
M.
Makowski?
Yes.
Lydia with an M.
I'm going to tell you next podcast.
But wait a minute. Why would I know this? It just says Lydia in the script. Is this like deep into the...
I don't know. You just might know it. just from like passing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's, and by the way, thank you to all the subscribers, all the Patreon people, the people watching this on YouTube. The email's what's wrong at OrnyAdams.com. Thank you to Ernesto Hurtado, that he's the one who takes this and like polishes up the audio and stuff like that. And you don't want people to contact you. Do you have a website? Do you want people to listen to your podcast?
I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
With my van build called Holland Days, like holidays, but
I
Holland,
love that.
AYS, Holland Days.
That's fascinating. I can't promise I'm going to go look at it. But
you definitely should not go look at it because that is not your jam, Orny.
what drives you, like, what's wrong with Holland? What drives you nuts?
What drives me nuts? So much drives me nuts. Posey keeps posting on social media, and I agree with him. When the light turns green, if we could all somehow in unison press the pedal, it's like 1, 2, and it's so slow to get out of the gate.
Right.
That annoys me.
Well, everyone's on their phones. If the front car's on their phone, everybody's screwed.
I like therapy.
Are you in therapy?
Of course. I think everybody should be in therapy.
Really?
That's a big, like, controversial asterisk.
Well, what do you love about therapy?
I think that the world would be a better place if there was not as much rage.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a way to, so like I say that there's anger, and then there's different ways to alleviate anger. And rage is not anger. Rage is a symptom of anger. It's a way to alleviate the anger. Yeah. But there's also taking your time for yourself. There's also communication. There's other ways to alleviate anger than just the rage. And the other two strengthen a bond. The other one hurts the bond.
But are you really this zen? Like, like to me, little things drive me nuts.
I'm pretty zen. The only time I lose my cool is corporations. I despise corporations and customer service and how they can hang up on you and dismiss you as an individual. It will drive me up a fucking wall.
Miss the heydays of corporations because you used to be able to threaten.
Exactly.
You used to be able to go, I'm leaving. That's it. I'm done.
And they don't care.
Right. Like restaurants, I'm not eating at this restaurant ever again.
Right.
And now the employees are like, hold on, we're going to record this.
Right.
Look at this guy.
Right. I have a real issue with, and the sad thing is corporations can act as an individual, but they're far more powerful than an individual. And these individuals, that corporation doesn't even care about you as the employees. It's like, don't defend the corporation.
Yeah.
And so I have a real issue with customer service and, getting a real person on the phone and, oh no, the manager doesn't get on the phone. They'll email you in 3 to 5 days. It's like,
I'd watch this YouTube channel.
How is it possible? Like that's the only thing. I don't scream in a relationship. I'm very calm.
Really?
No, never. I don't belittle people.
Really?
I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, I'm going to investigate this.
You can ask.
Okay. I'm going to ask around.
I don't.
What's the last customer service place that you called? What was the last bad experience?
Ooh, I'd love to call them out. It's called Viasat.
What is that?
They're the Wi-Fi for America, and I paid $50 for 2 different devices that did not work, and they just don't want to refund your money.
They're the Wi-Fi for what?
For the plane. $25 each device.
What plane?
American Airlines for Viasat was the
Is
the
this
Wi-Fi
an international flight?
It was not. That's a different company. So the Wi-Fi's, they have different companies that these airlines will use. So American,
right? One's GoGo Internet.
GoGo's one
I'm
of them.
really good.
Bing or Bingo or something.
Why don't we call them on your podcast?
I'll I already have. They won't call you back.
Yeah.
And there's no manager that'll get on the phone. I'm like, how is this so what I do is I found Martin something is the CEO co-founder of the company, and it's like these people don't know anything about their jobs. And I don't blame the person. I blame the corporation. Right. And I blame the tops because they're just screwing.
But some of these customer service banks, they're handling different corporations.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll get like.
They're third parties.
Right. They're third parties. It's outsourced.
Again, not legal. Like I have a real issue.
I love this.
I wish I could be a lawyer or I just fight in the big fight.
Not too late.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be a good lawyer. Not a good enough one.
Or you go screw it. And you just go, I'm going to live in the van. I have a fantasy of living out in the woods.
See, there you go. Cabin. Turning off all the anxiety.
Oh, that's what I want. All right, this is what we'll close on this. All right, I have noticed every time I'm in a museum, I get scolded.
For what?
And I'm not even like a rules breaker.
Are you talking too loud?
No, I was in a museum.
You touching shit?
No, I don't touch. I don't get too close. I was in a museum.
What was they yelling at you
I had a bottle of water.
Okay,
but I wasn't drinking it. I didn't know.
You can't have water in the museum.
But they come flying at it. You're like,
that's stupid.
You're up close. You're looking at. I'm just saying that these guards are control freaks.
Yeah.
And they startle me. Like I'm looking at the painting and I'm like really into it. And they go, sir, no water. You're like, whoa.
You're not even drinking it. You're just holding it.
I'm just holding it. I'm like, No fluids, no. And so I said, okay, well, I won't.
And someone's scaring the shit out of them. That's why they're so mean.
Well, I don't know, but then they
Probably.
I said, okay, I won't drink. They go, put it in your pocket so nobody else sees it. So now I'm walking around the museum.
How do you carry like a,
Here's the other thing. So then the next day I'm at this botanical gardens in Sarasota, which is gorgeous. And it's all based on, it's a theme every season. And this theme is based on Tiffany, the glass, which was naturalistic and based on flowers.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah. The Tiffany glass back in the day. It's a thing. Yeah.
They had a museum in this house of Tiffany objects. The Tiffany glass was behind the glass. And I was probably a good 5 feet away from it. And I said to my mom was with me, I had my glasses and I said, I like that one up there. She goes, sir, don't point with your glasses.
Oh my God.
It might touch the glass.
See,
use your finger. And I go,
this is the bane of existence.
but I go, I'm not gonna. By the way, this is in Florida where they're all about their freedoms.
Yeah.
But I can't point at the Tiffany glass with my glasses.
It's either a power trip or they're being scared shitless into acting
no
like that.
way. It's a power trip. It's a power trip.
It's probably both. But I think that like they're so miserable in their lives. Like I think about when they go home at night and then I feel bad for those people because they're probably so like to go to work and act that way is just so asinine.
But they could come and go, sir, could you not? There's no way, even if I stretched it out as far as I could, I'm not touching the glass with my glass. Yeah. It was humiliating. And I'm going to be honest, they were reading glasses. They weren't my sunglasses. Oh. So I was even more humiliated that I had reading glasses and it almost touched the glass and I got in trouble. And then
You're just trying to enjoy your day.
Yeah, and I'm going, and I'm like muttering under my breath. I'm like a crazy, like.
It's weird, man. I think that like the weird grievances of life and the really just casual rudeness and then the audacity of these corporations with the customers. That's my number one, like, makes my blood boil.
Well, I'll say this, and I can't let it go. Like I have to, if I deserve $5 off or something, I'm going to call and get it. Okay. Like I fight for it.
Well, yeah.
But I met one person one time and they said in life, I just expect to be screwed.
Right. That's a good point. See, my thing was, and I look embarrassing when I call out a company on social media or on Insta stories or whatever it's called. But I'll do it, even though I look weird. I'm always the one that's going to look bad.
Yeah.
But I'll do it because it's like, that'll go to a rather, sizable following. Yeah. And make a lot of impressions. And somebody that's getting screwed next to me that doesn't have that following can't do anything.
But they don't care anymore.
Well, no. But so at least that corporations sometimes, not every time, but a lot of times the corporations, what can we make right for you? I go, it's not about me. It's about everybody. Yeah. And I'm just the one that has to be the spokesperson because at least I'll get a reaction most of the time if I Insta stories it out, but it's always embarrassing to do so.
No, why don't you do a podcast? This is what this podcast is supposed to be, like complaints against corporations.
Get all your stuff out.
I didn't know that there was this.
That's what's wrong with me, but I think that's what's right with me.
That's what's right with you. My guest today, Holland Roden. Let's wrap it up. We're almost. I mean, I was going to do 40 minutes with you. We've gone an hour and 20. We're not going to edit this. We're not going to edit this. Episode 73. I'm going to listen to the music because it gets me fired up. What's wrong with Orny Adams? My guest today, Holland Roden. I still feel like I'm saying your name wrong.
No.
Holland Roden, star of MTV Teen Wolf, that show that changed all of our lives. It's the greatest show ever made. Some of the greatest characters like Coach, Bobby Finstock, and Lydia Mikowski. One of my favorite characters. And if you watch the pilot, my guest today should have been a barista by now. She should have never made it out of the pilot. She should have been recast. But God bless her, she made enough money to buy a minivan and live on top of the mountain for 6-7 months at a time.
I just need to make a cappuccino now. A well-done cappuccino. I'll be happy.
I don't think I ever said that to you. What? That just doesn't sound like something I would say.
100% did. But I wish I made good coffee. It's something I wish I always had done. I'm a terrible barista.
Even when you're up in your van, you must.
Terrible. I need to get better at it. So I should become a barista.
What are you doing? How about just do a French press? You can't screw up a French press.
No, cortado.
Yeah.
All about the cortado.
There was something that happened when we were in Atlanta. We had really good coffee on the set. It got really shitty.
Brash coffee. Yeah. Right next to the hotel. Brash.
But even on the set, we had better coffee, and I think the budget.
Did we?
Yeah.
I'm such a coffee snob, man.
Yeah.
Cortados. Brash Coffee in Atlanta. Shout out to them. They're incredible baristas.
We're going to start giving out our bags, our MTV Teen Wolf bags. So just hit us up on social media. You're amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.